What's going on, Dolphins? It is your boy Dillon, and I am here to do one of my 2 scouting report videos that I'm going to do today. I actually have a lot planned for this week. I got a couple scouting report videos today. Tomorrow I'll be doing my playoffs and what does it take to get there, plus the updated draft positioning as it is currently. Thursday, I have the 2017 draft class that I'm going to take a look at. I'm actually going to be doing a collaboration video with a Saints YouTuber. Hoodie Jube is his name. I'll put the link to his channel in the description box, and so you guys can check him out. So I'm going to be doing that on Thursday, and then Friday, I'll be doing my I have a scouting report video, my last scouting report video, and then Saturday I'm going to be doing my preview video for the Monday night game against the Saints. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump into it. This video is going to be for the Tennessee Titans, so let's take a look at that. They did lose a tough battle against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who won't go away. They are both of these teams obviously are part of the playoff picture. Tennessee currently does lead their division at 9-5. Steelers are in the mix, and they are, one of the teams that is standing in our way for a potential wild card spot. So obviously how both of these teams fare down the stretch is going to be important all around. But the Steelers are now 7-6-1 after they win 19-13 over the Titans, 9-5. And look, man, the Titans have been struggling in recent weeks, but they are one of the most decimated teams by injuries, and they have like 35 plus, I think, players on injured reserve. They haven't had like any of their weapons. Their offensive line has been injured, so it's been tough for them. But I still think that they're at least going to make it to the playoffs this year. They should get Henry back at least for the playoffs, if not a little sooner. I think A.J. Brown will probably potentially be back for the game against the Dolphins. Who knows about Julio Jones? He has been back, but then he left the game against the Steelers with a hamstring injury. So anyway, let's go ahead. I'm going to slide this back over this way for this. So anyway, let's take a look at this though. So Tennessee had 318 total yards. They let up 168. They had 117 through the air, allowing 133. They had 201 on the ground, allowing 35. 4.1 yards per play to the 3.7 they let up. They had 3 fumbles, obviously, and then the 1 interception. They didn't get any turnovers of their own, and that was really the big sticking point in this and why they ended up losing the game. Let's see. Tennessee also allowed 4 sacks. They did get 3 of their own, though. They were 44% on third down, only allowing 18. They had the ball for 39 minutes and 8 seconds, allowing 20-52 to the Steelers. They had 7 penalties. Obviously, that didn't help them either, to the 5 of Pittsburgh. Okay. Now let's go up in here. They allowed Ben Roethlisberger to go 16 of 25 for 148, so they actually held him in check there for the most part. Najee Harris had 12 rushes for only 18 yards and a 1.5 average. Deontay Johnson had 1 for 10. Deontay Johnson also led the way in receiving, 5 of 5 for 38. Pat Freiermuth, 4 of 4 for 37. James Washington, 3 of 5 for 36. Zach Gentry, 1 for 17. And Chase Claypool. How is it 0 of 2 for 12? That doesn't really make sense. I'm not sure why it says that he had 0 receptions for 12 yards, but okay, I guess. Anyway, yeah. So listen, the Titans, as I have said, look, over the past couple weeks, I was saying that, the Giants game and the Jets game, I feel comfortable about those. We got those wins. The Saints and the Titans game, I'm on the fence about, but leaning towards losses. And the Patriots game, unless they end up like locking up the number 1 seed, which I don't think they're gonna by then, but if they do, then maybe they rest their starters. Maybe we can get the win, but otherwise I don't think so. Tennessee is going to be a tough game, man. We're going to get into league standings and stuff like that in a minute. but they're going to be tough because their defense is great and they can really run the ball. And it's also going to be in Nashville and it's going to be cold. So it's going to be a really tough game. I don't think any of these games coming up are, going to be easy wins by any stretch. And unfortunately, I think there is a good possibility that we actually end up losing the last 3 games. I know everybody's super excited that we're 7-7. I'll talk more about this on Wednesday, but just real quick, I know everybody's super excited we're 7-7. I am too, don't get me wrong. And it is fun, and it does allow me to make these, what does it take to make it to the playoff videos, because we are still in contention. But the last 3 games are going to be really, really tough. So they're going to have to play their best football across the board, and we'll see how it plays out. Anyway, Ryan Tannehill was 23 of 32, 153 with the interception. Deontay Foreman, 22 rushes, 108 yards and a 4.9. Dontrell Hilliard, 9 rushes, 49 yards and a 5.4. Jeremy McNichols, 6 rushes for 26 yards and a 4.3. Ryan Tannehill added 5 rushes, 18 yards, a score, and a 3.6 average. A receiving Nick Westbrook-Akine was 4 of 7 for 32. Chester Rogers, 4 of 4 for 30. Deontay Foreman, 2 of 3 for 27. Jeremy McNichols, 3 of 3 for 25. Anthony Ferkser, 2 of 2 for 19. Dontrell Hilliard, 4 of 6 for 10. And they still got some guys. I mean, even... And that's, Josh Swaim, Michael Pruitt. They still got some guys, but if they do end up getting like A.J. Brown and Julio Jones back for this game, this offense is going to be pretty tough, and they do average over 24 points on the season. We'll get to that in a minute. So it is going to be tough. Dolphins finally got up to averaging 20 points on the season, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough, and especially with the 3 defenses that we have to play over the next few weeks, I'm not sure that the Dolphins are really going to be able to keep pace with that. I hope they do. Don't get me wrong. Of course, I hope they do, but I don't have a ton of confidence. I'd love to see it, though. So let's get there and let's do it. Now, let's take a look at the league standings. So Tennessee is currently... And as you can see, their offense, league standing wise, is actually pretty good in pretty much all these stats. They are in the top half in every single one, except for obviously passing. But their offense is pretty good, and they likely will get some pieces back by the time we have to play them. So in a couple weeks. So they're currently 16th in total yards with 4,831 on the season, 347.9 per game. They're 21st in total passing with 3,129 on the year, 23rd when it comes to per game average at 223.5. They're 4th, though, obviously, and this kind of is what kind of counterbalances that, in rushing with 1,992 on the season, 142.3 per game. So it's going to be tough, And there is some slight, I don't think he'll be back by then, but there is some slim chance that Henry is back for this game, because there were reports that they could potentially bring him back a little bit sooner. And what I was saying since the beginning of the Henry, injury stuff is I said that, look, man, 6 to 8 weeks was the recovery timetable. If 10 weeks was, then that would bring him back right at the beginning of the playoffs. But, if they decided to bring him back like, in week 8 or of that recovery timetable, that would be for the Dolphins game. And there is some chance of them doing it. And I think that they would be more likely to do it if they thought that their playoff chances and potentially, their chances to win to the division started to slip a little bit, because they started to suffer when it comes to these games and lose some. Now, I still think they're at least going to get to 11 wins. They do still have a couple games that they should be able to win on the schedule down the stretch. Out of the last 3, they have the 49ers this upcoming week. They have the Texans one more time. They should win that game, even though I know they already lost to them. But anyway, it's going to be tough. Let's continue on. They're currently 15th or 14th after ties in total points with 337. They're 15th in points per game at 24.1. They're 13th in third down offense at 41.1%. So across the board, their offense is pretty good. And they do rank better than in pretty much all those categories, most of those categories, than what our offense ranks. And so we'll see. Now, we do have a pretty good defense. So again, we'll see. And there are going to be some opportunities. you know, so we'll see, especially because when you get to their passing defense, that's their weak spot. So certainly an opportunity to potentially take advantage of there, especially since they're the second ranked rush defense and we're probably not going to be able to run against them very effectively. But anyway, they're currently 10th though in yards per game at 329.2, led up 22nd in passing yards, 261.2, second in rushing with 86.9 per game. They're 14th or 12th after ties and points at 22.1. They're decent in their takeaways. They're not spectacular, but they are decent. They're 18th or 9th after ties in takeaways with 18 on the season. They're 11th or 6th after ties in interceptions with 13 on the year. They're 26th or 9th after ties with 5 fumbles, 12th or 6th after ties with 35 sacks. So they're pretty good at generating sacks. And that defensive line is going to give our offensive line some fits. And that's another thing too. Like, yes, I get it. You know, sure, it's absolutely true that Tua masks a lot of those offensive line deficiencies. And so over the past few weeks, they certainly have looked better. And this last game against the Jets certainly was one of their better ones overall, even when it comes to like their grading out and stuff. But it was the Jets, and the next 3 teams all have really good defensive lines that are going to give this offensive line fits. So, you know, let's see how these next 3 games play out. Anyway, so where was I? They're 5th in passes defensed with 70, and they're 11th in third down defense at 37.4. So, and then of course, as always, just to give you a quick look at the Dolphins' current offensive and defensive league standings, that's where we are, and that is going to wrap up this video. Before I do, check out the Rave On Sports App, the new fan-driven sports app for all your sports, whether it be basketball, baseball, football, college, whatever you like. They got it, and they're looking to enhance your game day experience with live play-by-play coverage, live chats with other fans, content creators like myself. If you like to dispute the bad calls, they love to do that as well. Look for the links in the description box for that. And with that, I'm going to get out of here. I hope you guys appreciate my perspective. If you do, make sure you hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit the bell if you want to get the alerts. Share my channel and videos with your friends and family. Leave your questions, comments, and concerns down in the comments section. And of course, as always, follow me on Twitter at DillonTartaro. And with that, I am out. I'll see y'all soon. Fins up.